Hello everyone, today an important video about dry fasting, rejuvenation, especially facial rejuvenation. We will try to understand this way the face works because I am always very astonished by how much people look younger after completing a dry fast. We have individuals who attend a retreat spending 10 days in our company. With certain people, it is always very spectacular to see the manner in which wrinkles vanish on an individual of a certain age, wrinkles fading, a face that plumps up, that gets refined, and we really see a rejuvenation happening in people, which for me is always amazing. It is frequently quite spectacular to observe a rejuvenation equivalent to about 10 years in age when someone finishes the fast, and this is universally perceived as well. For some people, it's more obvious than others. Some people really look like they gained 10 years. They look truly less aged than previously. This is consistently something that never ceases to surprise me. When you start eating again, people plump up. Of course, during the fast, the features are a bit drawn. There is a bit of fat escaping, so the face tightens up a bit, and as soon as people resume eating, their faces plump up. You have this rather spectacular rejuvenation effect, and it is a strain that begins to repair very, very quickly. From the moment you start eating again up until approximately 3 weeks post-refeeding, this is why it is crucial to manage the reintroduction of food very precisely. That is gradual, utilizing specific food items in order to avoid damaging this crucial phase of rebuilding, which is truly essential for the self-regeneration of cells, tissues, organs, the skin, and so forth. Therefore, regarding this facial rejuvenation, we are not here to peddle fantasies. We are just here to explain the functioning a little bit. Fasting is currently maligned. No one discusses it. Can you name one mainstream media source that covers fasting? None. They discuss medicine of all kinds, hospitals, the hospital business. It is a medicine that makes a profit. It is like an industry. We are here to make revenue. Hospitals must have returns. So we are in a completely skewed system of sickness where we are here to make profits, sell drugs. Everything is designed for profit. In contrast to patients who are somewhat kept waiting, we are dealing with a healthcare system that intends to not understand the deep causes of the imbalances of the human being, who is multifactorial, multi-complex, where the imbalances physiological are certain, particularly metabolic ones too, psychological ones too. All these factors are not understood, are not studied as causes of current pathologies. So we arrive at a system that does not understand the human being and their problems. And fasting has answers to an enormous number of things, because we are no longer in things that we add, but rather in things that we will remove to restructure a human being. It's rather in the cellular reset that we need to engage, like resetting a computer that is too full of information. Viruses and cookies, you press that reset button and fasting functions in the exact same way. Do you have mainstream media that talk about fasting or dry fasting? Absolutely not. They will tell you that you are quacks, that it is dangerous. You are not within the paradigm that we are in. You are disruptors. We eliminate everything that is disruptive. You are dangerous people, etc. Yet we should examine what the ancient figures like Hippocrates and Avicenna used to say. What were their teachings? Currently it is Ramadan. They said that fasting is the first remedy. Hippocrates, may your first food be your first medicine. These are simple phrases that the ancients knew. Today we'll talk about the face, which is our calling card. It influences our confidence, our relationships, our opportunities. A firmer, brighter, less marked face is an asset for selling yourself, for potentially finding a romantic partner, or for securing a more favorable contract. If you possess a face fasted, rejuvenated, which is luminous and conveys a smile, you might attract more opportunities into your life. I always express these points with a degree of reservation. We will attempt to break down these mechanisms of cellular aging along with the regulatory switches involved. We have two control buttons of biological commands, which are mTOR, which is a growth signal. mTOR stands for mechanistic target of rapamycin. It is a protein that acts, which is an enzyme that gives clear instructions to the cells. When mTOR activates, the message is that food is coming in, we can build, we can grow, we can produce. It is essential for growth, for repair, after a meal. mTOR is beneficial for muscle building when the body is in its constructive phase. But the problem is that when mTOR is constantly solicited, a diet too rich, too frequent, too caloric, the body goes into continuous construction mode, and this constant building mode inhibits necessary physiological cleansing mechanisms, and long-term this will lead to the accumulation of cellular waste. You have accelerated aging, chronic inflammation that comes. It's as if you had a state of energy surplus. This leads to issues related to overconsumption of food, of excess energy. The body begins to malfunction, to work poorly due to complete overload. Conversely, you have protein kinase, which is an energy saving switch activated when we fast, when we are in caloric restriction. It activates when there is no more energy, when the energy drops. You have this protein kinase, a tool known in fasting. The switch signals save, repair, recycle. AMPK, the protein kinase, creates autophagy, improves insulin sensitivity. It will optimize all the energetic conditions of a human being. What does that mean in everyday life? Once the drop is enough, you get better sugar management, less fatigue, better energy stability. We need to have periods where we take breaks to allow this protein kinase to rise, which will accelerate the physiological mechanisms of health hygiene, of repair. We also have sirtuins, which are longevity regulators. They are proteins activated by moderate stress. The act of fasting and caloric restriction will participate in repairs and protection at the DNA level. So you better resist stress. Rising sirtuins regulate inflammation. They are studied a lot in longevity. What does fasting do? Especially dry fasting. During a fast, mTOR, the growth system, decreases. AMPK, the protein kinase, which rises, which allows autophagy, the cleaning. And those famous sirtuins, which are beneficial, which will also increase autophagy. The body switches from construction to fasting, cleaning, optimism mode. Dry fasting is a much more intense state of constraint, which will accelerate certain metabolic signals. The more intensity in the fast, in the constraint, the more repair you get after. But caution is needed, as I always say. When doing dry fasts, know what you are doing. Don't do it randomly. You also have insulin, a major factor, IGF-1, a factor known in the fasting community. It is a hormone linked to growth, stimulated by food intake, especially protein. When IGF-1 rises, there is a lot of growth. By analogy, mTOR also rises. And long term, when you have too much IGF-1 constantly rising, It is also associated with cellular aging, accelerated. Walter Longo is the researcher who does a lot of research on fasting, but also on caloric restrictions. He showed that caloric restriction cycles will cause IGF-1 to decrease, will promote mechanisms that are focused on protecting the cells. The body will enter protection mode, followed by a reconstruction phase once the period is over of the fast or during caloric restriction phases. And dry fasting amplifies certain protection signals, like autophagy. You have much more autophagy, so much more cleaning, much more restructuring, regeneration upon exiting the fast. So autophagy, I recall, is the cellular recycling system. It dismantles damaged debris, misfolded proteins, dysfunctional ones, cleans out aging mitochondria, that is mitophagy. This results in fewer waste products, consequently leading to reduced inflammation and improved cellular efficiency. Better tissue efficiency. You have stem cells that start to repair, so this is really these pluripotent stem cells. Therefore, you experience genuine repair commencing immediately upon reintroducing food, a process that continues for approximately 3 weeks. That is why it is important to have a diet that is as clean as possible. When you exit a dry fast, to regenerate properly afterwards, if your nutrition is not adapted after the fast, you will have much more trouble getting stem cells to repair and regenerate. So stem cells, I remind you, will allow renewal of the immune cell system, of epithelial tissues, of support cells. This process will really contribute to a better overall quality of the body's general tissues, not just the face, but almost everything. So why does the face improve during dry fasting? Because the face is very sensitive to inflammation, to retention in the back, to collagen quality, to microcirculation. When fasting reduces inflammation and improves metabolic regulation, we can really see rapid decreases in bags and wrinkles, more defined features, skin that becomes more luminous, a more even overall complexion. So you really see this face plumping up, remaking itself. Additionally, the mobilization of water and lipids can lead to a faster reduction in specific instances of fluid retention. So less retention, less inflammation, more sharpness in the facial features. And it's not magic, it's physiological. Consequently, the rejuvenation effect you see is much more comprehensive. You experience a more global rejuvenation. You have gotten rid of that tired look in the face that no longer appears full and radiant. You have erased the wrinkles and the fine lines. And beyond the visible phenomenon we see in rejuvenation, upon exiting dry fasting, we really have what people report to us, what I feel myself. You have a rapid improvement in energy, you sleep less, you have more energy, you have digestion that is immediately improved, mental clarity that is optimal. You have clear ideas, you know where you want to go, what you want to do. You lose the desire to reintroduce negative patterns into your life. Instead, you feel motivated to progress and cleanse your current lifestyle, to get rid of constraints, toxic people, etc. You have new ideas, you want to engage in novel activities and incorporate new elements into your existence, better mental clarity, etc. On a physiological level, inflammations decrease. You have better metabolic stability, so dry fasting works very well for type 2 diabetes. It's very effective. When these metabolic factors become more flexible, we will better utilize fats afterwards. So you will better burn off the waste, the fats, and so on later on. So the skin, an organ very sensitive to metabolic stress, will start reaping the benefits as soon as you conclude the period of dry fasting. This practice can yield very potent results, yet it necessitates a certain precise plan for how you will break the fast. A younger face often reflects less inflammation, better cell cleaning, a more flexible metabolism, of better organized regeneration. In some cases, dry fasting can activate these mechanisms of cellular renewal. There you have it. That's all for today. See you soon for the next video. Bye bye.